Welcome to your Thursday yoga practice. Today we'll focus on the hips, and as always, work to your abilities. Do what's available to you today, just exploring edges, inviting curiosity about what your body can and cannot do, what does and does not feel good. Remember, we're not coming here to judge ourselves. We're coming here to breathe and explore. Right, so find a comfortable seat. If you usually skip sitting on a blanket or a pillow, maybe today you give it a try in honor of your hips. The idea of elevating our hips by sitting on a blanket or pillow is the intention of getting your knees level to or lower than your hips. Now, for some of us, that might never happen, and that's okay too. So as you arrive, begin to notice anything of your experience that jumps up to your awareness. Maybe you notice your breath, sounds of your environment, sensations that your skin can pick up. Just noticing what's here with friendly curiosity. And we're coming up on a big, beautiful full moon, which is for some of us a nice time to take action, course correct. And the quote I have for today is from Thich Nhat Hanh: "Because you are alive, everything is possible." Because you are alive, everything is possible. And if you would like to chant Om, let's draw our hands together in front of our heart, and know that you can also always opt to sigh your breath during this time. That also has an impact on the vagus nerve and the parasympathetic nervous system. Inhale deeply for Om. Release your hands to your knees, and slowly as you inhale, start to draw your heart forwards. And we're making big circles, as big as we can. And as you exhale, draw your heart back in space. You might notice your hips move and wobble as you explore your range here. Really draw the heart forward, maybe even arcing the spine. And when you draw the heart back, you might round your spine. Really tap into how your hips feel here. And then switch directions. And then return to sit tall. If you're on a blanket, scoot off of it as we pass through Navasana. I was reading yesterday, I've always associated boat pose with being a core abdominal workout, but I was reading yesterday that it's really more of a hip flexor strengthener. So the next time we want a core workout, we'll be dropping down lower. But for today, for our hips, let's possibly keep the toes on the earth, maybe float them off of the earth. Maybe bring the shins towards parallel. Maybe extend the legs all the way. That adds a lot of weight for your hip flexors to hold. Maybe release your hands. Breathe wherever you go. Keep lengthening your spine, lifting your heart. One more breath. And when you exhale, return your legs to crossed, crossing the non-dominant one in front. And then inhale, draw your heart forwards. Exhale, taking it back. Maybe you close your eyes here to help you tap in to how this feels. Can you hear your breath? And when it feels right, switch the directions. And return to sit tall. Bring both feet to the earth and then drop your left knee wide. So we're going to keep the right foot on the ground, left leg like you're sitting with your legs crossed. Sit really tall, anchor both of your hips. And as you exhale, start to twist over your right leg. You can use your hand to scoop your belly out of the way and then look over your right shoulder. Then check in with your hips. Are you holding or clenching here? And can you soften, letting the hips be heavy? Maybe you reach your left hand to the sky and lean back. One more breath. And with an exhale, return to neutral, and then we'll switch legs. So left foot grounded, right leg like you're sitting with your legs crossed. Right hand to your left leg, start to rotate your torso to the left, looking back over your left shoulder. And as you get settled, try to soften your hips. Notice what's going on there. Maybe for the next breath or two, you reach your right arm up to the sky, tugging on the connective tissue of the hips. Big breath. And exhale to release. Make your way into tabletop. You might pad under your knees with the blanket. And as you arrive in tabletop, you can start flexing your spine through cow and cat. And maybe right away on the exhales, you send your hips back into child's pose. And then inhale, draw your heart and hips forward. If you have blocks at the top of your mat, maybe you give this a few tries with your hands on the blocks. And then we'll meet in tabletop. Lift your feet off of the earth, toes, heels coming towards your hips as you sink your hips down, stretching the front of your hip flexors. Pull your heart forwards. This is a nice opportunity again to use blocks if you have them. Shoulders sliding together, back and down, heart lifting up towards the sky, maybe even look up. And as you look up and breathe, feeling your front body expand with the inhale, maybe you can become aware of the connective tissue, gently stretching. One more big breath. Exhale, return to tabletop. Pause for a moment here, letting the spine neutralize, toes tucked, big inhale, and exhale, find your downward facing dog. You can shake out your head here, maybe wiggle your hips. Stand into your left leg as you inhale your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Bend your knee and then draw big circles with your right leg. Moving in any way that feels good to you, maybe switching the direction of your circles after a round or two. Now re-extend your right leg long, three-legged dog. Inhale, come forward into plank, draw your right knee towards your nose, pushing the ground away, rounding the spine a bit here. Core muscles engaged, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and then press back to downward facing dog with your legs in figure 4. Doing the best you can. If it's not available today, that's okay. Just one more breath here. And then inhale, come forward into plank, step or swing the right foot to meet the right thumb. Lower your left knee, walk your right foot out to the right edge of your mat. Again, opportunity to use blocks as we explore Uttanapishtasana lizard pose. So you can stay exactly as you are. The right hand inside of the right leg hugging the right arm, spine long, deep in the hips here. Maybe you lift your left knee off of the earth and really actively press back through your left heel. Maybe you lower your torso, bringing your forearms to the mat or block. Try to keep squeezing the right leg into the right arm. And breathe. 3 more breaths. Know that you can always back out. You can always do what works for you. It's your practice. And plant your hands if you lowered to your forearms. Bring your right hand to the outside of the right foot, walking the right foot back to neutral. Plant your hands with a big inhale, prepare to step back. Exhale, find plank pose. Inhale here, and exhale, downward facing dog. Stand on your right leg as you inhale your left heel to the sky, 3-legged dog. Bend your knee and draw big circles if you like. And switching the directions. Re-extend your left leg, 3-legged dog, pushing the ground away, neck relaxed. On an inhale, come forward into plank, left knee towards your nose, push the ground away, rounding your spine. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh and press back to downward facing dog with your legs in figure 4. Try to guide the left knee away from your chest, opening the hip as best you can. 1 more breath here. And on an inhale, come forward into plank. Release the left foot to the top of the mat, stepping it to the outer edge, left hand inside of the left leg. And then settling in to explore lizard on this side. So you might lower your right knee down. Long spine, imagine your crown and your tail in alignment, drawing away from each other. Breathe, and perhaps you lower down to your forearms. Left leg is hugging the left arm. Maybe you reach the right knee off of the ground and really press back through your right heel. A few more slow breaths. Breathing deeply, moving slowly, we'll begin to release this lizard pose. Bring your left hand to the outside of the left foot, walking the left foot back in. Big inhale to look forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. You might take a wider than usual stance and bend your knees more generously than usual. So you drape your torso forward and sway side to side, releasing the low back and the hips. Shake out the head, relax your neck and shoulders. On an inhale, we'll slowly rise all the way up, reaching to the sky. And exhale your hands in front of your heart. Pause for a moment here. Notice how you're feeling. On an inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Plant your hands and step yourself right back into plank pose. Big inhale and plank. Exhale, lower your knees, drop your hips, hanging cobra again. 1 more big breath here. And then exhale, lower all the way down, keeping your feet in the sky. Knees are in alignment with your hips. You can bring your forehead to the earth and reach your hands back in space. And you might stay here. Maybe you can catch your feet and kick your feet, your ankles into your hands. We're not going deep into Dhanurasana bow pose, thinking of this more as a hip and quad stretch than going for the full back bend. Just one more breath wherever you are. And exhale, release everything. You can make a pillow for your head and shimmy your hips side to side if that feels good. Hands under shoulders. Inhale deeply. Exhale and push yourself up through tabletop, then all the way back to child's pose. Inhale, and when you exhale, walk your hands over to the left, anchoring your right hip back and down. Really focus on feeling this stretch anywhere you can in the right hip region. So imagining pulling your right hip back in space can help you tap into sensation. As you breathe, walk your hands across the mat and over to the right side, now anchoring the left hip back and down. Noticing where you feel sensation all through the body, but then focusing on your left hip. Return your hands to neutral. Inhale to rise up to tabletop, tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. This triangle shape with our head hanging heavy. A soft bend is always welcome in the knees as we send our hips to the sky. On an inhale, lift your right heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward into plank, right knee towards nose, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and then send your hips back. So again, we're in downward facing dog with our figure four legs. You can stay like this, or you can start to walk your hands back to your left foot. And at some point, maybe you find yourself into a forward fold. From here, feel free to play if you want to lift up and find Utkatasana chair pose with figure four legs. You can certainly do that. You can also squat. Don't be shy to play. Explore the body and your abilities and what feels good. Another breath or two wherever you are with your right leg in figure four. As you're ready, we'll slowly make our way back to downward facing dog first. And then inhale into plank, legs still in figure four. Come forward on your tippy toes, lower your torso down, taking a chaturanga with the legs in figure four. Inhale, lift your heart for our awkward upward facing dog. And exhale, return to downward facing dog, and then release your right foot to the ground. Noticing how that was. On an inhale, send your left heel to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, come forward into plank, left knee towards nose, then hook the left ankle over the right thigh and find figure four, downward facing dog. You can stay just like this or walk your hands back towards your right foot, exploring on the other side, maybe noticing right away a difference. Maybe finding chair pose, maybe staying in forward fold, maybe finding a yogi squat, balancing on one foot. Breathe wherever you go. Another breath or two to explore. And And then we'll all walk our hands forward, returning to downward facing dog. And then taking our awkward flow, inhale forward into plank with legs in figure 4. Come forward on your tippy toes, lower down, exhaling. Inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, releasing the left foot to the earth. Drop to your knees, take a child's pose. You might rest your arms by your side, giving your shoulders a break after all that carrying they just did. Because you are alive, anything is possible. Bring your hands in front of you and sit yourself up. Swing your legs around. Maybe return to sit on a blanket if you like to use that. Let's cross our right leg in front. And you might stay like this. Sukhasana, easy seat, right leg crossed in front. Remember, you can always prop under your legs with blocks. Maybe you pick up your right shin, wiggle your left foot forward so that we can stack our shins on top of each other. Notice if the right knee is really pointed up high to the sky, then just put a block under it or a pillow for support. And then try to anchor into both of your hips equally. Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. You can bring your hands out to your side and flip your palms forward if you like. That helps us find a little external rotation in the shoulders, a lift in the heart. Maybe here you prefer to fold forward a bit. Also an option to use the blocks. I encourage a long spine, but if you intentionally want to round your spine, that's fine too. Explore and breathe wherever you go. Maybe you invite a little sway side to side, maybe even a neck roll with an open jaw. And you can stay exactly how you are, or for the next few breaths, maybe we walk the feet away from each other, right foot walking to the left foot walking to the right, working towards stacking the knees. You might shift the blanket so it's where you need it. Now the legs are in cow face pose. Sit really tall, and again, fold forward any amount. If you'd like to incorporate your arms, you're also welcome to take the bind we've practiced before. Left elbow towards the sky, right hand behind your back, maybe your hands meet. And this helps us not cheat the posture, because then we really can't round our spine too much. Another breath or two. What's here? And slowly from wherever you are, we'll begin to release. You can use your hands to help gently guide your legs. Knees to sky, feet planted. Let your legs fall side to side. Neutralizing. And then return to easy seat, left leg in front this time. And you can stay here for the next few exercises, or cross the left ankle or stack the left ankle on top of the right knee, left knee on top of right ankle, remembering we can always prop ourselves. It's totally cool to support yourself however you need. So sit tall here, Agni Stambhasana, fire log pose. Good time of year for outdoor fires. Maybe you walk your fingertips off to the side and flip your palms to face forward. Soften your shoulders and jaw. Relax your face as you breathe. Maybe you walk your hands forward, taking a seated forward fold of any amount. Breathe deeply and explore what's here. Maybe you sway a little side to side. Maybe you bring neck rolls into it. And for the next few breaths, option to explore cow face pose. So now we'll walk our right foot to the left, left foot to the right. Knees stacking as best they can over each other, adjusting the blanket so we can try to melt our hips into the earth evenly. Sitting tall, maybe folding forward, maybe bringing your arms also into cow face pose, Gomukhasana. This time the right elbow reaches towards the sky, the left elbow reaches towards the ground. Maybe you notice a difference side to side. Here my fingertips find each other, on the other side, no chance. So just noticing how your body's different side to side, which means it must always be balancing and compensating, helping us feel even. Another breath or two. And slowly release wherever you went. You can use your hands to guide your feet back to the earth. Relax back on your hands or knuckles and let your legs fall side to side. How are your hips feeling? All right, and we'll make our way to lie on our spine. Option to take Supta Baddha Konasana, that reclined bound angle, or to put the blanket under your knees for Shavasana. So I'll demonstrate Baddha Konasana. That's where our feet stay together as our knees open out wide like a book. This could feel really great with blocks under your legs now to let your hips open and soften. If you choose this option, it might feel really good to rest your hands on your hip points or the region of your hip points. Sometimes it feels better on the belly or the thighs. Maybe you open your arms out wide, and maybe you've kicked your legs out long for Shavasana. Allow yourself to settle wherever you've gone with it. Because you are alive, everything is possible. Slowly deepen your breath and invite movement back into your body. The Thich Nhat Hanh quote I've been sharing today, it's from his book, Living Buddha, living Christ. Because you are alive, everything is possible. Take advantage of life. Make your way back to an easy seat, sitting with dignity, long spine, relaxed face and shoulders. If you'd like, bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for taking the time for this practice, knowing that when we take care of ourselves, we can better serve the world around us. Inhale deeply if you'd like to chant Om. Ah.